by the name of Halvar lived in this house. He was a strange giant because he was poor. He was poor because he was always giving things away. He would sit on his stoop and smile at the travelers going down the road. "Hello, friend," he would say, and he would talk with them. He would invite them for lunch, and if they needed something, he would give it to them. One day, a farmer came down the road. His coat was threadbare and patched all over, and he was leading the cow. It was so swayed back, it was hard to tell which was in the worst shape, the cow or the farmer. And Oliver smiled and said, "Hello, friend. Is this the road that goes to the market?" The farmer said, "Yes. Are you planning on selling your cow?" "I hope so," said the farmer. "Things have been pretty bad for us. The weeds are so bad in the wheat field, we don't have enough wheat. So we're going to make one loaf of bread. And the chickens have nothing to eat. And you can see the cow, what shape she's in. To tell you the truth, it's been several days since I've had a bite to eat." "Well, what would you say if I traded 5 fat goats for your cow?" said Oliver. "Why would you do such a thing?" said the farmer. "Because I like you," said Oliver. "Just go take your cow back home and put it in the barn. Tomorrow morning you'll find 5 fat goats in its place." Well, the farmer went home and he put the cow in the barn. But all night he sat up thinking, "Was I crazy? Who would trade 5 fat goats for a cow like that? Huh? I've gone another day because of my stupidity without eating." The next morning he went down into the barn, but there were the 5 fat goats. After that, things got much better for the farmer. The goats ate the weeds and the wheat. The wheat grew up, they had more wheat than they knew what to do with. The woman, she baked bread and she sold bread in the market. And with the extra wheat, they fed the chickens. The chickens gave so many eggs, they sold those in the market. And the goat milk was so rich with cream, they made cheese and sold that in the market. The farmer became very wealthy. In fact, the mayor of the town asked his advice on things. One day the farmer was riding to town on his big charger, and he passed Halvar's house, and Halvar smiled and said, "Hello, friend. What, don't you remember me?" He stopped his horse and he said, "Yes." "Well, sit down and have lunch with me. We'll talk over old times." "I'm too busy," he said. "Can't you see I have important things to do? I have to talk to the mayor. I haven't got time to waste with the likes of you. I'll give you a bit of advice. If ever you have a thing, you should sell it at a profit. And with that profit, buy 2 more. And sell those at a profit. And that's the way you should live." They turned his horse and rode off. And upset Oliver. He was angry and upset. And he turned to walk back into his house. But he had taken only 2 steps before he stopped. Why should I let the fact that somebody else doesn't know how to take good fortune bother me? I like to give things away. It makes me happy. And that's what I'm going to do. And he turned back around and he walked out and he sat on his stoop and he smiled at people as they went by. And he talked to them. And he gave them things. He died very poor. But if you go to Sweden today, high in the mountains there, the children still remember Halvar, and they love to play in his house. God rest in heaven. carry to the good, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when he had come us free. Get away! How are you singing? Now! Get away! It was I who said those words. May heaven help my soul. It was I who sent those children scampering out into the night, where before had been love of man and God. My name is Ebenezer Scrooge, and my story bears telling. The time I speak is Christmas time, in the year of our Lord 1843. It was a cold, biting winter. I sat in my counting house. The fog crept in at every chink and cranny. Already it was dark, and I'd lit a candle to see by. My clerk had also lit a candle, and the miserable wretch was warming his hands with it, wasting good time and money, and I was just about to reprimand him for it when the door flew open. Merry Christmas, Uncle! Close the door, you want to freeze us up? Merry Christmas. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough. What reason have you to be angry, Uncle? You're rich enough. I'll thank you, nephew. This is a place of business. Merry Christmas. Humbug! What is it for the time for being a year older, but not a penny richer? If I had my way, every fool who went about with Merry Christmas would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine. But that's just it, Uncle. You don't keep Christmas. I came to invite you to our house for dinner. Thank you, nephew. I'll starve first. But why? We don't ask anything of you. No? Not a present for your pretty wife? A bauble for your little girl? Huh. I came here purely out of the Christmas spirit, Uncle. And when you go, kindly take it with you. All right, sir. Merry Christmas! Bah, humbug! Mr. Scrooge, sir? Yes, Mr. Cratchit? I was just wondering, sir, if you might leave for the night. Well, say it! Yes, sir. And I suppose you'll want tomorrow off as well? If it's quite convenient, sir. Well, it's not convenient and hardly reasonable. If I were to deduct half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used now, wouldn't you, Mr. Cratchit? Well, sir, half a crown. And yet you see no reason why I shouldn't pay a man for not working. It's only once a year, sir. Once a year? A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Well, I suppose you must have it. But be here all the earlier the next morning. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Marley, sir. Marley? Well, the sign said Marley and Scrooge accountants. Marley's dead. He's been dead for 7 years. But then you must be Mr. Scrooge. Yes, what can I do for you? We are soliciting donations for the poor, sir. At this time of the year, people like to give. How much would maybe put you down for? Nothing. Oh, you wish to give anonymously? No, not a penny. But sir, if everyone did that, where would they go? Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? What, sir? I pay taxes to support those two institutions. Let them go there. But sir, some would rather die than do that, sir. Then better they die and decrease the world's surplus population. Now, get up! I felt no twang, remorse, no twinge of guilt. Why then did my dark chambers seem so foreboding? What nameless fear clutched at my heart as I stepped across my threshold? Once, up those heavy stairs, behind my heavy door, I knew I would be safe. Quickly I made myself ready for bed. And then I saw it, standing in the shadows, shining with a sickly bluish gleam. Its eyes, two dead eyes, staring out of a dead face. Who are you? What do you want with me? In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley. I know you now, but you are dead. Why have you come here? It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad and witness happiness amongst his fellow man. If that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. You are fettered. You are in chains. Tell me why, Marley. I wear the chains I forged in life. Of my own free will I forged them. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer Scrooge? Money boxes, keys and padlocks, heavy purses, rotting steel. I think you know this pattern well, Ebenezer Scrooge, for your life is shriveled. Your life is evil as mine was. You were always a good man of business, Marley. Mankind was my business. Charity, forbearance was my business. But I turned my back on thee. I suffer for it now. But you are 7 years dead, Marley. You are beyond suffering. Listen, as I have suffered, so will you. You have but one chance, one last hope. What hope you speak of, Marley? What is that? You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Look for the first when the clock strikes 1, the second when the bell tolls 2, the third on the count of 3. Hope to see me no more. But remember. Quickly, I climbed into bed. How long I slept, I do not know. I remember waking to the first hour of Christmas Day, tolling the steeple clock. There in my room, as old Marley had warned, was the spirit whose coming was foretold me. Are you the spirit that Marley told me of? I am. Who and what are you? I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? No, Ebenezer, your past. What have you come for? For your welfare and reclamation. Rise, Ebenezer, walk with me. Walk where? Out the window, out on the wings of the wind. Look there below you, Ebenezer. What do you see? Why, it's a school, all deserted, for the children have all gone home for Christmas. Wait a minute, there's a long, melancholy room in which a boy sits, all alone. He wants to cry because he's been left by his friends. He lifts his head. His name is Ebenezer Scrooge. Look there, the boy is older now. You can see the lines of care and greed on his face. That girl sitting beside him, there to be married. Take me back, spirit. I don't want to see this. Listen, Ebenezer, to what she says. So, Ebenezer, I give you your ring and your release. For you no longer love me. You love money and power. Another idol has misplaced me, a golden one. She was gone, out of that room, out of your life. One more Christmas, happy with a family that might have been yours. Haunt me no longer, spirit. One more Christmas, playing with the children who might have been yours. Haunt me no longer, I say, haunt me no longer. I was alone again in my room. The steeple clock tolled out the 2nd hour of Christmas Day. Wake up, Ebenezer! Wake up, man!
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me, man, and know me better.
There before me in my room stood a tall spirit, clear-eyed and smiling. He had a wreath of holly on his head. He held a high torch in the air, which filled the room with a ruddy glow.
What? Have you never seen the likes of me before, Ebenezer?
No, never.
You mean you've never walked with my brothers?
Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800. One for every Christmas since the first. Come along, Ebenezer. Walk with me.
I traveled with the spirit of the past. They brought me no joy.
Oh, come along, Ebenezer. I will show you the Christmas as we celebrate it today. Look out there. Below you is the world. What do you see, Ebenezer?
I see the brightness of a million flames burning on a million hearths. I see families together.
Enjoy.
I see children with their bright new presents. Happy, yes. I see invalids on their sick beds.
Smiling with new hope.
I see miners that labor in the bowels of the earth.
And even they are happy on this day.
Yes, yes, it would appear so.
There, Ebenezer, is the spirit of Christmas. Now come with me to a miserable house where lives a man that you know well. Look there.
Why, it's Bob Cratchit, but the others, I know them not.
Bob Cratchit has a wife and 5 children, all of which he takes care of, feeds and clothes on the 15 shillings you so kindly give him every week.
He has a wife and children? I didn't know.
You might have known. You never asked.
The youngest of the 5, he has a crutch. He is a cripple?
The crutch supports his body. His spirit stands alone. Listen, Ebenezer.
Peter, fetch the goose. Martha, the potatoes need a turn. Chad, set the table. I hear Father coming up the stairs. Oh, Bob, there's such a goose. I know, Tiny Tim and I smelled it coming up the stairs. And how was our little boy in church? Why, as good as gold, eh, Tiny Tim?
I wanted everybody to see me in church today.
Why is that?
Because I'm a cripple. And if they see me today, they'll remember that it's God's day. For it's God who made the cripple walk and blind to see. Didn't he, Mother?
That's my son.
Didn't he, Father?
Of course. And someday he'll make me well again, and I can throw away this crutch and I'll never need it again. I'm growing stronger every day. Why, I believe so, Mother. Just feel his muscle. Just feel my muscle, Mother.
Now, the Cratchit sit down to a small table. A goose no bigger than your hand might cover. But the Cratchits are not hard to please.
There never was such a goose. Such flavor, so succulent, and the stuffing.
And now a pudding. A very small pudding for so large a family.
A wonderful pudding. A marvelous pudding, I say. I regard this pudding as the greatest success of Mrs. Cratchit since our wedding. Hooray! And now a toast to us all. Merry Christmas to us all. God bless us. Tiny Tim.
God bless us, everyone.
And now Tiny Tim will sing for them before he goes to bed.
Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim die?
Why? If he did, better he do it now and decrease the world's surplus population.
No, Spirit. Certainly there are others in need, and those who can help.
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses, Ebenezer Scrooge?
No, wait, Spirit. Come back. Don't leave me now. I was alone again on the wind-swept street. The biting cold cut through me as I bowed my head in shame. 3rd hour of Christmas Day rang out. Here, I felt a sudden chill. There, standing before me, stood a phantom, draped in a cowl, with a skull, the bony hand stretching out. You must come with me. me, Ebenezer Scrooge. I am the spirit of Christmas of the future.
Phantom of the future, I fear you more than anything I've ever seen.
I will show you things that have not happened, but will in the time before us. Come, Ebenezer, come. Look there below you. What do you see?
Why, that's my business. But that building across the street and the one next to it, I don't recognize those.
They will be built in the future. See those two men?
Why, they're my associates.
Listen to what they say.
I heard old Scrooge
Popped away last night. I thought that guy had never died.
Wonder what he died of.
What do you suppose he did with his money? Probably left it to his business. One thing's for sure, he wouldn't give it away.
Did you hear, Ebenezer Scrooge? Look there.
Why, what place is this? There's Bob Cratchit. Is this a graveyard? Such a small grave. Tell me, did Tiny Tim die?
Hear the father mourning for his son.
It's nice here, Tiny Tim. There's grass such as you've never seen before. And flowers, too. And the birds, they sing right in the bush and tree near you. And you won't be alone either, Tiny Tim. For I'll come and visit you every day. And when I leave, I'll feel your weight on my shoulder, just like we used to, eh, Tiny Tim? And I'll say to myself, he's not gone. He's here, just as he always was. Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. Must the father cry out like that for his son?
There was a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. He might have helped.
Oh, I will, Spirit. I was promised one last chance. I promise to keep Christmas forever, my heart. I'll remember the past, the present, and the future. Only let me sponge away the writing on that stone. Suddenly the spirit was gone. I was back in my room. The sunlight was streaming through the window. I had the sudden fear that Christmas Day had passed. Quickly I ran to the window, threw open the shutter. Hey boy, what day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, sir. It hadn't passed. The spirit...
Healthier and stronger every day. I know, you see, because it's Christmas time again. I'm going to spend this Christmas with the Cratchits. I've learned a great deal since that Christmas. I've learned that there is no greater glory given man than the love of his fellow man. For in that glory,
is the love of God. May we keep Christmas forever burning in our hearts, as Tiny Tim put it. Bless us. Give. That's it. I'll give him something.
So we hunted through his stuff. Now we found a soup spoon with a broken handle, and he ran down the path, making a peculiar grimace, which people later learned to call a smile. Marvin! Marvin, I have something I want to give you. Marvin saw Merkley coming. Merkley has sprung a gasket. I better get out of here before it becomes dangerous. But Merkley saw what Marvin had in mind, so he grabbed him by the shoulder and shoved the soup spoon right into Marvin's hand. Then he stepped back, to pick up the club and give him the bash in the approved manner. But before he could, a strange new feeling came over. It was 10 times more powerful than the other one. It started in both toes, went up both legs, crossed his chest, and tingled in both ears. Who would have guessed it? Giving stuff me first. Make her? No. What word to describe his feeling? Nicer. That's it. Giving stuff is nicer than taking stuff. And he found that part of this feeling was telling others about it. And he did. And they told others. And they told others. And so it was passed on from one generation to another to this very day. And though we don't see much evidence of it nowadays, usually around Christmas time people remember it. And instead of bashing and taking, they give. And it feels very nice. Was born on Christmas Day to save us all. Get away! Get away! It was I who said those words. May heaven help my soul. It was I who sent those children scampering out into the night, where before I've been love of man and God. My name is Ebenezer Scrooge, and my story bears telling. The time I speak is Christmas time in the year of our Lord, 1843. It was a cold, biting winter in London, where I sat in my counting house. I remember it was silent indeed, and it had been a good year. The fog crept into every chink and cranny. Already it was dark, and I had lit a candle to see by. My clerk had also lit a candle, and the miserable wretch was warming his hands with it, wasting good time and money, and I was just about to reprimand him for it when the door flew open. Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you! Close the door, you want to freeze us up! What reason have you to be married? You're poor enough. What reason have you to be angry, Uncle? You're rich enough. I'll thank you, nephew. This is a place of business. What is Christmas but a time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer? A time for paying bills, and there's no money. Merry Christmas. Humbug! If I had my way, every fool who went about with Merry Christmas would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine. But that's just it, Uncle. You don't keep it. I came to invite you to our house for Christmas. Thank you. I'll starve first. But why? We don't ask anything of you. Oh, no? Not a present for your pretty wife? A bauble for your little child? Come now. You don't understand, Uncle. I came here purely out of the Christmas spirit. And when you go, kindly take it with you. All right, Uncle. Merry Christmas. Bah, humbug. Mr. Scrooge, sir. Yes, Mr. Cratchit. I was just wondering, sir, if you might leave for the night. Well, say it. Yes, sir. And I suppose you want tomorrow off as well. If it's quite convenient, sir. It's not convenient and hardly reasonable. If I were to deduct half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used now, wouldn't you, Mr. Cratchit?
Well, son, hard round. And yet you see no reason why I shouldn't pay a man's wages for not working? It's only once a year, sir. Once a year? A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Well, I suppose you must have it. But be here all the earlier the next morning. Oh, I will, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Marley, sir. Marley is dead. He's been dead for 7 years. Oh, the sign said Marley and Scrooge. Oh, I'm Scrooge.
Well, Mr. Scrooge, we are soliciting for the poor. At this time of the year, people like to give donations to help them. Now, how much may we put you down for?
Nothing!
Oh, you wish to give anonymously, sir?
No, not a penny!
But, sir, if everyone did this, what would happen to the...
Are there no workhouses? Are there no prisons? What, sir? I pay my taxes to support such institutions. Let them go there!
But, sir, some would rather die than do that, sir.
Then better they die and decrease the world's surplus population. Now, get out! I felt no pang of remorse, no twinge of guilt, for I'd never known these idle human sentiments. Why then did my dark chamber seem so foreboding? Why did my heart suddenly turn with fear as if icy hand clutched as I crossed my threshold? Up the stairs I went as fast as I could. Once behind my heavy bedroom door, I knew this nameless fear that clutched at me would be gone. Quickly, I made myself ready for bed. And then I saw it, standing in the shadows, shining with a sickly bluish gleam, its eyes two dead eyes, staring out of a dead face. Who are you? What do you want with me? Who are you?
Ask me rather who I was. In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Marley, I know you now, but you are dead. Why have you come here?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad and travel far and wide to witness happiness in life to share. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death.
You are fettered. You are in chains. Tell me why, Marley.
I wear the chains I forged in life. Of my own free will I forged these. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer Scrooge? Money boxes, keys and padlocks, heavy purses, rotting steel. I think you know this pattern well, Ebenezer Scrooge, for your life is shriveled. Your life is evil as mine was. But you were always a good man of business, Marley. Mankind was my business. Charity, forbearance was my business. But I turned my back on these. I suffer for it now. You are 7 years dead, Marley. You are beyond suffering. Hear me. My time is nearly up. As I have suffered, so will you. For your life is shriveled as mine was. You have but one chance. One last hope.
What is that you speak of, Marley?
You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Look for the first when the clock strikes 1. The second when the bell tolls 2. The third when the clock strikes 3. Look to see me no more. But remember,
Marley God. Quickly I climbed into bed. How long I slept, I do not know. I remember the steeple clock waking me for the first hour of Christmas Day.
There, in my room, a tall spirit, childlike, and yet its hair was white with age. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me? I am. Who and what are you? I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? No, Ebenezer. Your past. What have you come for? Your welfare and reclamation. Rise, Ebenezer, walk with me. Where? Out the window, out on the wings of the wind. Look there below you, Ebenezer. What do you see? I see a schoolyard, all deserted, where the children have gone home for Christmas. Wait, there's a long, melancholy room in which a boy sits alone at a big table. His head is bowed. He wants to cry, for his friends have all left him. He lifts his head. His name is Ebenezer Scrooge. Follow me now. See, the boy has grown older. You can see the lines of care and greed on his face. The girl sitting beside him, there to be married. Take me back, Spirit. I don't want to see this. Listen to what she says, Ebenezer Scrooge. Take me back. And so, I give you back your ring, Ebenezer. You no longer love me. You love money and power. Another idol has displaced me. A golden one. She was gone, out of the room, out of your life. Haunt me no longer. One more Christmas, happy with the family that might have been yours. Haunt me no longer. Playing with the children who might have been yours. Haunt me no longer. I was alone. In my room again. The second hour of Christmas Day ringing in my ears.
Wake up, Ebenezer! Wake up, man! I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me and know me better.
There before me in my room stood a tall spirit, clear-eyed and smiling. He had a huge wreath of holly around his head. His eyes twinkled, and he held a huge torch which filled the room with a ruddy glow. I stared more in wonder than in fear at him.
What, have you never seen the likes of me before, Ebenezer Scrooge? Have you never walked with my brothers?
Have you many brothers, Spirit?
One for every Christmas since the first. Now come with me, Ebenezer Scrooge. I will show you Christmas of today.
I've been with the spirits of the past. They brought me no joy.
Come along, Ebenezer, come along. What do you see there? The world stretching out below you.
I see the brightness of 1,000 fires burning on 1,000 hearts. I see families together. I see children with their bright new toys.
All happy and making merry.
Yes, but I see invalids on their sick beds.
Smiling with new hope.
I see miners that labor in the bowels of the earth.
And even they are happy on this day.
Yes, it would appear so. Now come with me, Ebenezer.
For this is the spirit of Christmas. I want to show you a wretched little room in a wretched house where lives someone you know well.
Why, it's Bob Cratchit. But the others, I know them not.
Bob Cratchit has a wife and 5 children, all which he feeds and clothes and takes care of on the 15 shillings you so kindly give him each week.
Cratchit has a family? I didn't know.
You might have known. You never asked.
The youngest of the 5 there, he has a crutch. He's a cripple.
The crutch supports his body. His spirit stands alone. Listen, Ebenezer.
Martha, turn the potatoes. Peter, fetch the goose. Chad, set the table. I hear your father coming up the stairs. Oh, Bob, there's such a goose. I know. Tiny Tim and I could have told you that. We smelled it coming up the stairs. And how is our little boy in church? Why, as good as gold, eh, Tim?
I wanted everybody to see me at church today.
Why is that, Tiny Tim?
Because if they see a cripple, they'll remember that it's God's day. It was God who made the cripple walk and the blind to see. Didn't he, Mother?
Yes, my son.
Didn't he, Father?
And someday he'll make me well again, and I can throw away my crutch and I'll never need it again. I'm growing stronger every day. Why, I believe so, Mother. Just feel his muscle. Just feel my muscle, Mother.
And now they sit down at the table. A small goose, no bigger than your hands might cover. But the cratchits are not hard to clean.
There never was such a goose. Such succulent flavor and the stuffing.
And now pudding, a very small pudding is mine.
I regard this pudding, I say, as the greatest success of Mrs. Cratchit sends our way. Hooray! And now a toast to us all. Merry Christmas to us all. May God bless us. Tiny Tim pudding.
God bless us, everyone.
And now Tiny Tim will sing for me before he goes to bed.
Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim live? I see an empty chair in the chimney corner, the crutch without an owner. If these shadows should remain, the boy will die. No, tell me he will be spared. Why, if he die, better he do it, and decrease the world's surplus population. No, Spirit. Certainly there are others in need, those who can help. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses, Ebenezer Scrooge? No, Spirit, come back! Don't leave! I was alone. The wind-swept street. The third hour of Christmas Day ringing out in my ears. A cold wind cut through my frame as I bowed my head in shame. I turned. The scene was all phantom in a cowl with a skull in a hand, groaning, pointing at me.
You must come with me, Ebenezer Scrooge. I am the spirit of Christmas yet to come. I will show you things that have not happened, but will in the time before us.
Phantom of the future, I fear you more than anything I've ever seen.
Come. Look there, Ebenezer, what do you see?
Why, that's my business, but the building across the street and the other I don't recognize.
They will be built in the future. Those men,
They're my business associates.
hear what they say.
My hero Scrooge popped away last night. Thought he'd never die. Wonder what he died of. What do you suppose he did with his money?
He probably left it to his business. One thing's for sure, he never give it away.
Did you hear? Did you hear, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Look there now.
What place is this? It's a church graveyard. There's Bob Cratchit, kneeling by a small grave. Tell me, did Tiny Tim die?
Hear the father mourning for the son.
It's nice here, Tiny Tim. There's grass such as you've never seen before. And there's flowers, too. And there's birds that sing in the tree. And you won't be alone either. For I'll come and visit you every day. And when I leave, I'll feel your weight on my shoulder, just like we used to, Tiny Tim. And I'll say to myself, he's not dead. He's here, just as he always was. Tiny Tim, Tiny Tim. Must the Father cry out like that spirit?
There was a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. He could have saved the lad.
Oh, I will, Spirit. I was promised one last chance. I will keep Christmas in my heart.
I will live in the past, the present, and the future. Only let me sponge away the writing on that stone. Suddenly the spirit was gone. I was back in my room, the sunlight streaming through the window. I had the sudden fear that Christmas Day had passed. Quickly I ran over, threw open the window. Hey, boy down there! Yes, sir? What day is it? Why, it's Christmas Day, sir. It hadn't passed. The spirits had done it all in one day. Oh. Hey, boy, you know the postman's on the corner? I should hope I did, sir. The prize turkey. The one as big as... Yes, the big one. The one as big as me, sir? Oh, yes, an intelligent boy. Here, take this money. Go buy it and have it sent to Bob Cratchit's house. I'm on my way, sir. One more thing, boy. Yes. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! I went to my nephew's house for dinner, and let me tell you, it was the most wonderful time I've ever had. There was a solicitor there. Was he surprised when old Scrooge pressed the money on him? But the next day, when Mr. Cratchit came to work, Mr. Cratchit, do you know what time it is? Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, sir. I won't let it happen again, sir. Yes, and I've decided to do something about it. From now on, I'm raising your salary to, and I named such a figure that eyes nearly bulged out of his head. I've learned a great deal since that Christmas. Let me tell you, Tiny Tim did not die. He grew healthier and stronger every day. I know because it's Christmas time again. I'm going to spend this one with the Cratchits. I've learned a great deal since that Christmas. I've learned that there is no greater glory given man than the love of his fellow man. For in that glory is the love of God. So may we keep Christmas always. May its fires burn forever in our hearts. As Tiny Tim put it, may God bless us all. May God bless us, everyone.
Good shot of the back of this person's head. There we go.
Fall down. Park's bomb.
Grable.
And it's Lakeview's
Another good shot of the back of that head.
I can't wait to sing goodbye.